Aliens had always believed they were superior. For centuries, they ruled the galaxy, deciding which species would rise and which would disappear. Humanity was just another young race to them, small, loud, emotional, and weak. Humans were allowed into the Galactic Council only because they were useful workers and fast learners. No one feared them. No one respected them. That belief would soon become the galaxy's greatest mistake. The council chamber was massive, filled with cold metal walls and floating lights. Representatives from dozens of alien species sat in their assigned sections. Some had scales, some had wings, others had eyes that glowed in strange colors. In the center of the chamber stood a single human delegate. His name was Commander Elias Kane. Elias stood straight, hands behind his back, his face calm. He wore a simple gray uniform with no weapons. Around him the chamber echoed with soft laughter. A tall reptilian alien leaned forward. "You humans always arrive late," it hissed. "Still learning how time works?" Laughter spread across the room. Another alien, thin and insect-like, clicked its mandibles. "Why is humanity even here? This is a council of warriors and rulers, not fragile mammals." More laughter followed. Elias did not react. He had heard these words many times before. The High Arbiter, a massive alien with 4 arms and glowing red eyes, raised one hand. "Silence," it said. "Human delegate, explain why your species has refused the recent military draft." Elias lifted his head. "Humanity does not join wars that are not ours," he said calmly. The chamber exploded with mocking sounds. "Not yours," the Arbiter repeated. "This war involves the entire galaxy." Elias met its gaze. Then perhaps the galaxy should stop starting wars it cannot finish. The laughter turned louder, sharper. A blue-skinned alien slammed its claws on the table. "You dare speak like this? Humans have never won a galactic battle." "That is because," Elias replied, "we were never pushed far enough." The room went silent for a moment, then erupted again. Aliens laughed openly now. Some leaned back in their seats. Others made cruel gestures meant to insult humans. "Threats from a pet species," one alien mocked. "Adorable." The Arbiter waved a hand. "Enough, humanity is dismissed. Your refusal will be noted. Consequences will follow." Elias bowed his head slightly. "We will accept them." As he turned and walked out, none of the aliens noticed the quiet tension in his steps, or the warning hidden in his calm voice. 3 days later, the first human colony burned. The attack came without warning. Alien warships dropped from hyperspace above the colony world of Haven 7. The colony had no defenses, only farms, cities, and children. The bombardment lasted 7 minutes. When it was over, the surface was silent. News spread fast. Across human space, screens filled with images of fire and ash. Millions watched in disbelief. Humanity had always avoided conflict. They traded. They negotiated. They endured insults. This time something changed. On Earth, deep beneath layers of reinforced steel, the Human Defense Council gathered. Generals, scientists, and leaders stood in a circular chamber. A woman with silver hair spoke first. The aliens wanted obedience. A man beside her clenched his fists. They chose the wrong way to ask. Commander Elias Kane stood at the center again, but this time his eyes were different, darker, sharper. "They mocked us because they do not know us," Elias said. "They see our restraint as weakness." A hologram activated, showing ancient Earth creatures, predators, storms, wars. "We survived this planet," Elias continued. "We survived ourselves." Silence filled the room. "The beast they laugh at," he said softly, "has been sleeping." No one argued. Across human space, something ancient awakened, not in rage, but in purpose. Factories that once built cargo ships began producing war vessels. Old military projects, buried and forgotten, were unlocked. Human scientists removed restrictions that had never been meant to last forever. The galaxy noticed too late. Alien patrol ships began disappearing near human borders. No distress calls, no debris, just silence. A scout fleet finally encountered the first human warship. It did not look impressive. No glowing weapons, no sharp edges, just a dark, solid shape floating in space. The alien captain laughed. "That is it." Then the human ship moved. It didn't fire weapons, it accelerated. In seconds it crossed the distance between them. The alien sensors screamed warnings, too late. The human vessel struck like a meteor, tearing through the alien ship with raw force. No shields, no energy beams, just mass and speed. The alien ship split in half. The remaining aliens tried to flee. They never made it. Back at the Galactic Council, panic spread. Reports flooded in, entire fleets lost, outposts gone silent, borders collapsing. The same aliens who once laughed now shouted in fear. "How is this possible?" one cried. "They fight like animals," another said. "No," the Arbiter corrected, its voice shaking. "They fight like survivors." The Council demanded answers, they demanded negotiations. A single human message arrived. Commander Elias Kane appeared on every screen. "You mocked humanity," he said calmly. "You attacked our children." His eyes hardened. "The beast you laughed at has awakened." Behind him, human warships filled the stars, silent, patient, unstoppable. "This is not revenge," Elias continued. "This is consequence." Across the galaxy, jaws dropped, fear replaced laughter. And for the first time in galactic history, the aliens understood one truth: humanity had never been weak. They had only been waiting. The galaxy changed after that message. Alien worlds that once felt safe now lived in fear. Trade routes went silent. Military stations stopped responding. No explosions were seen on the borders, only absence. Ships vanished. Bases went dark. It was as if space itself was swallowing them. On the bridge of the human flagship Resolute, Commander Elias Kane stood with his hands behind his back. The stars moved slowly outside the wide window. Around him, human officers worked in quiet focus. There was no shouting. No celebration, only discipline. "They are retreating," said Captain Morgan, watching the data screens. "Alien fleets are pulling back toward their core systems." Elias nodded. "They finally understand they are not hunting prey." "They are being hunted," Morgan replied. Elias did not smile. "No, they are being taught." Far across the galaxy, the Galactic Council chamber was no longer filled with laughter. It was filled with panic. The High Arbiter stood in the center, its forearms shaking slightly. Around it, alien leaders argued loudly. "This is impossible," shouted a reptilian warlord. "Humans do not fight like this." "They do not fight at all," another alien screamed. "They erase." Screens around the chamber showed destroyed outposts and broken fleets. No signs of advanced weapons, no energy burns. Just crushed hulls and torn metal as if struck by giants. "They ram us," said a blue-skinned general in disbelief. "They use their ships like weapons." "Savages," someone spat. The Arbiter slammed all four hands down. "Enough. Savages do not plan this well." Silence followed. The Arbiter turned to a small, pale alien covered in data implants. "Analyst, explain." The analyst swallowed. "Humans design ships differently, heavy frames, dense cores. Their engines allow sudden acceleration far beyond standard limits." "Why would they do that?" the Arbiter asked. The analyst hesitated. "Because on their home world, speed and impact meant survival." The chamber grew quiet. "They evolved on a death world," the analyst continued. "Predators, natural disasters, constant conflict. They learned that sometimes the fastest way to end a threat is to hit it harder than it can survive." Fear spread across alien faces. "So what do we do?" someone whispered. The Arbiter closed its eyes. "We negotiate." On Earth, negotiations were already being discussed, but not in the way the aliens expected. Deep inside a secure chamber, human leaders watched live feeds of the galaxy. No cheers, no joy, only resolve. "They want talks," said the silver-haired woman from before. "They attacked civilians," another leader said. "Colonies." Elias Kane stood silent until all eyes turned to him. "They laughed when we asked for respect," Elias said. "They listened only when they felt fear." He stepped closer to the table. "We will speak to them, but not as equals begging for peace." The room waited. "We will speak as the storm," Elias finished. A single human warship was sent toward the alien core worlds, not as an attack, but as a message. When it arrived near the Council's central system, every alien defense platform locked onto it. The ship stopped. It did nothing. Hours passed. Alien commanders waited for weapons fire. None came. Then a transmission opened. Commander Elias Kane appeared once more. "You wanted to understand humanity," he said calmly. "Now you will listen." Behind him, the interior of the human ship was visible. No panic, no chaos, only humans standing still, ready. "We did not conquer the stars because we wanted to rule," Elias said. "We came to explore, to trade, to learn." The Arbiter spoke carefully. "Then why this destruction?" Elias' eyes hardened. "Because you mistook patience for weakness." He raised a hand and the screen shifted. Images of Haven 7 appeared, burned cities, silent streets. "You crossed a line," Elias said. "On Earth, crossing such a line wakes something ancient." The Arbiter lowered its head. "We seek peace." "Peace," Elias repeated, "is earned." Without warning, a massive alien defense platform near the human ship lost power. It did not explode. It simply shut down, drifting helplessly. Gasps echoed in the council chamber. "We could have destroyed it," Elias said. "We chose not to." The human ship turned slowly, engines glowing. "This is your warning," Elias continued. "The next choice is yours." The transmission ended. Across the galaxy, alien commanders struggled to regain control. Their systems were failing, not from attacks, but from precise interference. Human technology slipped through alien defenses like a blade through air. "They see everything," an alien admiral whispered. Back on the Resolute, Captain Morgan looked at Elias. "They are afraid now." Elias watched the stars. "Fear is not enough." "Then what is?" "Understanding," Elias replied. Days later, a secret alien fleet gathered beyond the human sensors, or so they believed. It was a trap. They planned a surprise attack, hoping to strike deep into human territory and break the human advance. The fleet jumped into hyperspace. They never came out. When they emerged, they found themselves surrounded, not by dozens, but by hundreds of human ships, silent and waiting. No warnings were sent. No threats were spoken. The human ships moved as one. The battle was short. Alien weapons fired wildly, their energy beams splashing uselessly against reinforced hulls. Human ships weaved through the fire, striking with brutal precision. Some rammed. Others used short-range weapons designed to disable engines and life support. The alien fleet collapsed in minutes. One damaged alien cruiser transmitted a final message. "Why?" The alien captain begged. "Why show mercy before but not now?" Commander Elias Kane appeared on the screen of the dying ship. "Because," Elias said, "you chose to attack again." The alien captain looked at him in terror. "This is the beast you laughed at," Elias continued. "It does not rage blindly, it remembers." The human fleet turned away, leaving the broken ships drifting in space. News of the defeat spread faster than light. Across the galaxy, alien worlds fell silent, not from destruction but from fear. They had mocked humanity. Now they feared it. And somewhere deep within human space, older, darker projects were still awakening, things even the aliens had not yet seen. The beast was not finished. The fear spread quietly at first. Alien worlds stopped celebrating. Music halls closed. Young warriors were told to stay inside. For the first time in their long history, the galaxy's strongest races waited instead of acting. They waited for humanity. On the human side, there was no celebration either. No victory speeches. Human fleets moved with calm precision, holding positions near key star systems. Supply lines flowed smoothly. Repairs were fast. Losses were minimal. The aliens could not understand it. On the bridge of the Resolute, Commander Elias Kane studied a new set of reports. His face showed no emotion, but his eyes were sharp. "They are watching us," Captain Morgan said. "Probes, drones, long-range scans." "Let them watch," Elias replied. "They still don't see." "What don't they see?" Elias paused. "They think the beast is our ships." Morgan frowned. "Isn't it?" Elias shook his head slowly. "The ships are only the teeth." Deep beneath Earth's surface, far from any city, a sealed facility opened for the first time in decades. Massive doors slid apart. Cold light filled the chamber. Inside stood rows of human soldiers, different from any the galaxy had ever seen. They were larger, stronger. Their movements were controlled, precise. Their eyes were calm, but something dangerous lived behind them. General Harlan walked along the platform, hands behind his back. Elias followed beside him. "These units were never meant to be used," Harlan said quietly. "They were meant to exist," Elias replied. The soldiers did not speak. They waited. "They are not monsters," Harlan continued. "They are disciplined, trained, human." Elias stopped and looked at them. "They are the line we hoped we'd never cross." Above them, screens showed alien fleet movements. "The aliens believe this war is still about territory," Harlan said. "They don't understand." Elias nodded. "They never do." Meanwhile, the Galactic Council met again, but this time not in arrogance. The High Arbiter looked smaller than before. Its glowing eyes flickered as it spoke. "Humanity has revealed strength we did not expect," it said, "but no species is invincible." A tall avian alien stepped forward. "Our analysts believe humans avoid close planetary combat. They prefer space engagements." Murmurs followed. "So we bring the fight to the ground," the avian continued. "To their colonies." The Arbiter hesitated. "Their colonies are lightly defended." "Then they will surrender," the avian said confidently. A few aliens nodded. They did not see the fear in the analyst's eyes. An alien strike force jumped toward a human frontier world, Nova Ridge. A mining colony, small population, minimal defenses. The aliens landed quickly, spreading across the surface. Their commanders smiled. "This will break them," one said, but the colony was empty. No civilians, no workers, no resistance. Only silence. Then the ground shook. From the shadows of the mountains, human figures emerged, not in panic, not in chaos, in formation. The alien commander raised a claw. "Fire!" Energy weapons screamed across the field. The humans did not run, they advanced. Alien weapons struck human armor, yet the soldiers kept moving. Some stumbled, none fell. Then the humans reached them. What followed was not a massacre, it was control. Human soldiers moved fast, using strength and precision. Alien weapons were torn away. Armor was crushed. Leaders were pinned to the ground in seconds. The alien commander tried to flee. A human soldier caught him easily and lifted him off the ground. The alien struggled. "What are you?" The soldier spoke calmly. "Human." The battle ended in minutes. The captured aliens were treated for injuries. None were killed unless they resisted. From orbit, alien observers watched in horror. "They fight without hate," one whispered. "They fight to end it," another replied. Footage of the battle reached the Galactic Council. The chamber was silent as they watched humans move with terrifying efficiency. "These are not beasts," the Arbiter said slowly. "These are soldiers." The analyst stepped forward again. "Humans train for endurance, pain tolerance. Fear control, their bodies adapt under stress." "And their minds?" the Arbiter asked. The analyst hesitated. "Even more so." Back aboard the Resolute, Elias watched the same footage. Captain Morgan exhaled slowly. "They see it now." "Yes," Elias said, "but understanding does not mean acceptance." As if on cue, alarms sounded. "New alien fleet detected," an officer called out. "Large, heavily armed." Elias stepped forward. "They are not here to win," he said. "They are here to prove something." The alien fleet did not attack immediately. Instead, a transmission came through. An unfamiliar alien appeared on the screen, older, scarred, proud. "You have shown strength, human," the alien said, "but the galaxy does not bow easily." Elias met its gaze. "We are not asking you to bow." "Then why fight?" "Because," Elias replied, "you keep choosing violence." The alien snarled. "We will break your myth." The transmission ended. The alien fleet advanced. This time, humanity did not hold back. Human ships moved in complex patterns faster than before. Alien formations collapsed under sudden pressure. Human boarding units breached ships mid-battle, disabling them from within. The fight spread across space. In the middle of the chaos, something new appeared. A massive human vessel, larger than any seen before, entered the battlefield. Alien sensors struggled to understand it. "It's not a ship," an alien officer screamed. "It's a fortress." The vessel did not fire immediately, it simply arrived. The alien fleet hesitated. Then the fortress activated, not weapons, shields. A massive field spread outward, blocking escape routes. Human ships closed in. The alien commander realized the truth too late. "They are not hunting us," he whispered. "They are containing us." The battle ended with the alien fleet captured, not destroyed. Across the galaxy, the message was clear. Humanity was no longer reacting. They were deciding. Back on Earth, Elias stood alone, watching the stars. The beast had awakened. But it was not wild. It was controlled. And the galaxy was only beginning to understand what that truly meant. The galaxy began to change its behavior. Alien fleets stopped moving freely. Patrols stayed close to home systems. Trade convoys waited for human clearance before entering shared space. Even powerful war species began sending careful messages instead of threats. Fear had turned into caution, but caution was not peace. On the Resolute, Commander Elias Kane reviewed a new report. His jaw tightened slightly. "They are forming an alliance," Captain Morgan said. "Multiple species. Old enemies now united." Elias nodded. "Fear does that." The screen showed a massive gathering of alien ships near the galactic core, hundreds of vessels, different designs, different technologies, one purpose. "They believe numbers will save them," Morgan added. "They always do," Elias replied. On the Galactic Council world, the Alliance leaders met in secret. The High Arbiter stood aside as a new figure spoke, a massive armored alien known for crushing rebellions. "Humans rely on control and discipline," the warlord said. "Take that away and they fall." "How?" asked another leader. The warlord's eyes gleamed. "Chaos." The plan was simple and cruel. Instead of attacking fleets, the Alliance would strike many human worlds at once. Small attacks, random locations, civilian targets. They believed humans would panic, spread their forces too thin, and lose control. The first attacks began within hours. Mining stations were hit, communication relays destroyed, transport ships ambushed. Across human space, alarms sounded again and again. On Earth, human leaders watched the situation unfold. "They are trying to exhaust us," the silver-haired woman said. "They are trying to make us angry," another leader added. Elias Kane stood silently, hands clasped behind his back. "They think chaos breaks humans," Elias said. "They forgot where chaos comes from." He turned to General Harlan. "Release the Guardians." Harlan inhaled slowly. "Once we do this, there is no going back." Elias met his eyes. They crossed that line when they targeted civilians again. Across human space, something new appeared. Small human teams arrived and attacked colonies within minutes. Not large armies, not fleets. Small, fast, silent units. The Guardians, they moved through space and on planets like shadows. Alien raiders vanished. Weapons failed. Leaders were captured alive and broadcast back to their fleets. Alien soldiers began to panic. "They are everywhere," one alien commander shouted. "How do they know where we are?" They did not know about human predictive systems, about pattern analysis, about how humans studied enemies until they understood them better than the enemies understood themselves. On one remote colony, an alien strike team cornered a group of human civilians inside a shelter. "We have them," the alien leader said confidently. The lights went out. Seconds later, the aliens were on the ground, disarmed and restrained. A guardian stood over them. "You should have stayed away," the human said calmly. The footage spread. Across the Alliance, morale collapsed. "This is not war," an alien officer cried. "This is humiliation." The warlord demanded a final stand. They gathered everything they had left into one massive force, their largest fleet, their strongest weapons, their last hope. They aimed directly at Earth. When the fleet arrived, they found the human forces already waiting, not in defense, in formation. Human ships formed layers around the planet. Above them floated the massive fortress vessel, silent and unmoving. The alien warlord opened a channel. "Human," he growled, "end this now or Earth burns." Elias Kane appeared on the screen. "You lost the moment you tried to scare us," Elias said. The warlord snarled. "We will show you true destruction." Elias' voice did not rise. "You already did to Haven 7, to our colonies." He paused. "And you taught us something important." The human fleet moved, not forward, down. The fortress vessel activated something new. A wave passed through space, not a weapon, but a signal. Every alien ship shuddered. Engines slowed. Weapon systems froze. Shields weakened. "What is happening?" the warlord shouted. "You built your technology on dominance," Elias said. "We built ours on survival." Human ships struck with precision, not destroying, disabling. Within minutes, the alien fleet was helpless. Silence filled space. The warlord stared at his dark screens in disbelief. Elias leaned closer to the camera. "This is the last time," he said. "The beast you feared is fully awake now." Human boarding teams moved in. The war was over. But the reckoning had just begun. Across the galaxy, alien worlds waited, unsure of their fate. Would humanity rule them? Would it destroy them? Back on Earth, Elias stood before the Council of Human Leaders. "The galaxy is watching," the silver-haired woman said. "What we do now defines us." Elias looked at the stars. "We will not become what they fear," he said. "But we will never allow this again." Humanity had proven its power, now it had to prove its wisdom. The galaxy held its breath. Alien fleets were disarmed. Their leaders were captured or contained. For the first time in history, the most powerful civilizations were not deciding the future of the stars. Humanity was. Across alien worlds, fear turned into something heavier, shame. On the Galactic Council world, the High Arbiter stood in chains, though no human had forced them on it. The chamber was damaged, dark, and silent. Where laughter once lived, only regret remained. A human delegation entered the chamber. Commander Elias Kane walked at the front, calm as ever. Behind him were human diplomats, generals, and observers. No weapons were drawn. The Arbiter lowered its head. "We underestimated you." Elias stopped a few steps away. "You mocked us. We believed power meant domination," the Arbiter said. "We believed fear was control." Elias said nothing. "You proved us wrong," the Arbiter continued. "Now the galaxy fears you." Elias finally spoke. "That was never our goal." Murmurs spread through the remaining alien representatives. "Then why not rule us?" asked one alien quietly. "You can." Elias looked around the chamber at beings who once laughed at humanity. "Because ruling through fear only creates the next war," he said. Some aliens looked confused. Others looked relieved. Elias activated a hologram. Images appeared, human colonies rebuilding, alien prisoners receiving medical care, shared supply routes reopening. "We did not awaken the beast to conquer," Elias said. "We awakened it to protect." The Arbiter raised its eyes. "And what is our punishment?" Elias' gaze was steady. "You will remember. Humanity imposed strict conditions. Alien militaries were limited. Weapons of mass destruction were dismantled under human supervision. Borders were redrawn to protect weaker species. But no worlds were taken. No species was erased. This confused many aliens more than the war itself. On one human colony, an alien prisoner sat across from a human guardian. The alien studied the human carefully. "You could kill us," the alien said. "Why don't you?" The guardian replied simply, "Because we choose not to." The alien looked away. "Choice," it whispered. Slowly, trade resumed. Joint patrols began. Human advisors helped rebuild systems damaged by the war. Yet not all wounds healed easily. On Earth, protests filled some cities. "We showed mercy to monsters," people shouted. Others replied, "We showed them who we are." Elias watched these events from a distance. Leadership weighed heavily now, not in battle, but in peace. Captain Morgan approached him one evening. "Some fear we've gone too far, others fear we didn't go far enough." Elias nodded. "That means we're doing something right." But deep in space, beyond known systems, something watched. An ancient signal pulsed faintly, activated by the massive energy shifts of the war. Something older than the galactic. The galaxy slowly learned how to breathe again. Ships traveled without fear. Borders remained open but watched. Old enemies avoided conflict, not because they were forced to, but because they remembered what happened when they mocked humanity. Peace settled, not loud, not proud, but careful. On Earth, life returned to normal in small ways. Children went to school, cities rebuilt. Farmers planted crops on worlds once burned. Humanity did not celebrate victory days or build statues of war. They remembered Haven 7. Commander Elias Kane stood alone on a quiet platform overlooking Earth. The stars were bright tonight. Too calm for someone who had seen what the galaxy could become, Captain Morgan approached quietly. "The final council session begins in 1 hour," she said. Elias nodded. "They are ready." "They're afraid," Morgan answered. "But they're also hopeful." "That's new," Elias said softly. At the Galactic Council world, something unprecedented was happening. For the first time, the council chamber was being rebuilt, not by alien hands alone, but by humans and aliens together. No weapons, no guards, just workers. The chamber filled slowly. Alien leaders took their places. Human representatives sat among them, not above them. The High Arbiter, no longer chained, stood at the center. "This council once ruled through fear," it said. "That era has ended." Elias Kane stepped forward. "Power does not give the right to dominate," he said. "It gives the responsibility to protect." Silence followed. "We will not rule the galaxy," Elias continued. "But we will not allow it to return to cruelty." A document appeared on every screen, a new charter. Equal laws, shared defense. Protection for weaker species, no secret wars. No hidden exterminations. Some aliens hesitated, one stood up. "And if humanity changes, if the beast you awaken turns on us?" Elias met the alien's gaze. "Then you will stop us together." The alien blinked. "You would allow that?" Elias nodded, because restraint only matters if it is chosen. The vote was slow, but it passed. For the first time in galactic history, no single species ruled. Humanity walked away from absolute power. And that choice echoed louder than any battle. Years passed. Human guardians returned to civilian life. Some became teachers, some farmers, some never spoke of the war again. The fortress vessel was dismantled. Its materials used to build hospitals and stations. Alien children learned human languages. Human children learned alien history. The galaxy healed. But far beyond the mapped stars, something ancient stirred again. It had watched humanity closely. It saw their strength. It saw their restraint. And it understood something the old Galactic Council never did. Humanity was dangerous not because of its beast, but because it could control it. One day a faint signal reached Earth. Old, powerful, curious. Elias Kane, older now, stood before the screen. "It's not hostile," Captain Morgan said. "Not yet." Elias smiled slightly. "It never is at first." The signal translated slowly into simple words. "We see you. You are not like the others." Elias responded with a single message: "We know." The stars remained silent for a long time. Then the signal faded. Humanity did not chase it. They waited, because they had learned the greatest lesson of all. True strength is not in the beast that awakens, but in the hand that